Coffee with Tea. Thank you guys for joining this morning, early on a Sunday morning. We appreciate it. This morning, we're going to talk wholesale and bulk selling.
That's me. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah,
thanks. I was pulling up the chat.
Rookie mistake on both ends. You know what? It's all
I was
good.
trying to pull up the chat. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in.
Do you have it up?
I do.
Okay. All right. Great. Yeah. The StreamYard, I can see the chat, but anybody else, it's pain in the neck. I can't see it. So we're going to talk wholesale bulk selling. And this is for those of you that don't know it. I'll let Donatella introduce herself. But she's going to tell us about some exciting new stuff she's got going on. She does storage auctions, but I'll let her explain it better. Donatella, go ahead.
Hi, guys. So I think most of the people in this circle of friends that we have already kind of know my story. I live in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, and I buy storage units. Sometimes they're given to me for free, and I'll tell you about that in just a few minutes. I buy storage units and I sell on eBay, but I have such an abundance of items that I have started selling them wholesale to resellers. And I have a bunch of great resellers that are starting to follow me. You know, I kind of cater to people that either live really far away from thrift shops or Goodwills that can't get out and go thrifting, or people that are working full time and don't have the time to go out and look for a box of all men's designer clothes or all women's designer clothes or whatever my lots are. So they can just sit in the comfort of their living room and have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or whatever they're doing and just buy lots from me. I try to make them very reasonable. I do use pirate ship. If anybody wants any information on pirate ship, I'll be happy to share what I've learned and what I've known about shipping on pirate ship. You basically can ship anywhere in the continental USA as long as it's under 18 pounds and 18 inches by 18 inches, no bigger than that. You can ship anywhere in the USA for under $10. Between $8 and $10 is the average shipping cost for pirate ship. Doesn't benefit you to ship items that are like a pound and a half. Once you get to that 2, 3, 4, up to 18 pounds, pirate ship is the way to go. It's the cheapest way. So when I start my lots out, I usually start them off at like $25, including shipping, so that way the people that are buying them have an opportunity to take the items and resell them. And anyways, we'll talk more about that. But I'm a mom I have 4 kids, a husband. I run like crazy. I run 2 Facebook pages. I buy storage units. I sell on eBay. I also have a little part-time gig where I'm a community liaison for traveling nurses. I help them when they come from other countries. When they come to the United States, I help them get apartments and furniture and food and just imagine moving from another country to this country and not knowing anybody. I'm the first person they meet, and I just help them get acquainted. They're all professional nurses that come here with specialty like trauma ER nurses and critical care ICU nurses. So they're all wonderful, wonderful people. And I love my little part-time gig that I do. It's very gratifying. So I do that as well. And I'm Italian born. So I cook homemade food all the time. So I have a couple of homemade cooking videos on my YouTube channel. And I've embarked on this whole YouTube world, not so much about buying storage units and reselling on eBay, but kind of like the day in life of Donna. My given name is Donatella, but my friends call me Donna. So yeah, that's it, T. I could go on and on about it.
No, that's great. That's great. Giving everybody a great background. I am going to keep putting, and I will be in the description after the video of both her storage auction group and her now wholesale buyer and sellers group. And it's really geared, right, Don? It's geared towards us resellers. That's why you're calling it wholesale, more so than for anybody else, right?
Yeah, to resellers.
And
I mean,
what made you come up with that?
how did I come up with that? It kind of like just evolved into that, T. I just had like you were one of my first like big time buyers. You're a professional woman. You work in the professional world. You are in the office working, in the you're tired when you get home from work all day, and you don't want to go out and have to source, say for an example, whatever, a lot of women's clothes or whatever it is that you want to buy. I mean, don't you want to just sit in your living room and just order? So I thought to myself, and then I have a couple of people that are actually like disabled. They have bad knees. I have one that's in a wheelchair that can't go out and source, and she buys from me, and she is able to make a little bit of supplement her income that she gets from her disability by selling on eBay. And she has my packages delivered right to her door. She doesn't have to go out. She lists them on eBay. She makes her money and Postman picks them up. So it's a great thing for people that like I said, live too far away. So you're probably one of the people that inspired me to kind of like cater to selling wholesale lots to people that are just busy with life, and just can't get out and source.
Yeah, no, that's great. And that has been a great help for myself. Not only because I work full time, but I have other obligations. As you all know, my husband is not well, so it's hard for us to get out. We used to garage sale a lot, and this is a good time of year. But also, I think it's good for when it's not a good time of year, right?
Right.
So down in Florida, you can pretty much buy storage auctions and go to garage sales and all that stuff year round. Other people like myself, I'm here in the Northeast, not going out sourcing in November, December, January, February, right? Because of the winter months. So that is also a great help to those who, maybe run out of inventory, although I never feel like I'll ever run out of inventory.
Yeah, you have a lot. There's a YouTuber, it's a Star, is her name, and it's a Flipping Hippos.
Mm-hmm.
And she's constantly talking about how in the summer months, she's stockpiling. She lives in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia.
Yeah, I know she lives in Pennsylvania. I'm not
Pennsylvania.
Sure.
And she, and I remember from when I used to live up in Boston, you're homebound sometimes for 2-3 days. I mean, It's better now. The cities are more equipped to clear the snow and you can get out and stores open up. But gosh, I remember that stores would be closed. School would be out. Stores would be closed because of the storms. 2-3 days. So now you're stuck in the house. So she stockpiles all year round. Well, all summer long.
Right.
For those days where she's homebound, hunkered down, can't get out.
You say years ago that happened. It doesn't necessarily happen where we're stuck. I laugh all the time when snow comes and people are running to the store to get bread and milk like they're going to be stuck in the house for 10 days or something like that. But you're not going to feel like going out to source, or those stores may not, the flea markets or the thrift stores and things like that, they may be the last to be open after something like that. So that's always good too. Plus, I get Star's point where she goes out in the summer and kind of buys, but a lot of people don't have room to do that either. Like, I know you have one and I have the affordability to have a garage, but there are people out there who may not have a garage, may not have an attic or a basement or extra bedrooms or things where to keep inventory. So bad enough for the stuff you have up, but then, where do you put your over stuff? Some people can't do that. Some people rent. They don't have that kind of room.
Exactly.
So I've shared Donatella's link here in the chat for both her wholesale Facebook group and both her storage auction Facebook group. You don't have to buy storage auctions to follow her. She has some great information out there, some things called bolos. For those of you that don't know what bolo means, be on the lookout for. And lots of people ask questions in those groups. And myself or Donna or someone else in the group tries to answer them sometimes, or sometimes we need to know the answer. So it's great to share your knowledge. It's great to kind of ask questions if you're newer. I mean, I'm not newer. I'm doing this, almost 20 years on and off, mostly part-time. I'm learning every day. Donna was a great influence to me on pirate ship. I can't tell you the amount of money I could have saved over the last 18 years if I knew about pirate ship. So if you guys aren't using pirate ship, it's free. It works through the United States Post Office. And maybe at one point, Donna and I will run a video on exactly, we'll screen share and we'll show you exactly how to do that, because it is a great resource, especially if you're sending heavier packages, bulk packages, or across the country like myself or Donna. Donna's in Florida, I'm in New York. California seems to be the biggest customer for everybody, and that's just because the population is so big. So remember that. People are like, oh, California. And I used to joke about that. I'm like, yep, it's going to California. But remember, they have a very high population. So that does tend to be one of the more frequent places we sell to as resellers. And Donna, I guess you taught me a lot about pirate ship too.
Oops, hold on one second. I'm sorry. Well, I have to say, it was my friend Robert who taught me. Robert is the. I'm sorry. Hold on. I am. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Sorry. I. You know what I did was I opened up the YouTube to look at the chat. I opened up the YouTube page on regular internet, but it has to be on Chrome in order to. So I'm still kind of struggling with this. Let me see. Now I'm trying to find StreamYard. You see, save my passwords. My son, because my computer has kind of been shutting down.
Right.
My son, let me see, I'm just closing up these windows. I'm sorry. My son has been, okay, I think I'm back. Yep, I'm back live and I'm on the right page. And now I'm just going to scoot this over. He restarted the computer last night.
Okay.
No, he cleaned up the computer last night. So I lost all my passwords.
Oh, that happened to me a few weeks ago.
So I had to put my password in for YouTube, my Facebook, my StreamYard, so I was like, you don't realize.
And that's if you remember them.
I know. I'm lucky I remembered them. You don't realize how easy and convenient it is to have all the passwords stored in the computer. I had to put them all back in. Okay, I'm sorry.
No.
What were we talking about?
Well, we were talking a little bit about pirate ship and how your wholesale auction is really going to help you to give a great deal, even if you mail it across the country to someplace like California, because of the cost for something like that. So I see we got a few people lurking. I see the numbers are up there, but nobody's saying good morning. So let me be the first. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. We're talking here about wholesale and selling to our reseller group. Donatella has a great new wholesale Facebook group. I've put the link in the chat. Please feel free to join that. You can actually, I'm going to let you actually explain it, Donna, about what the concept is behind it and what you're looking for, us resellers to do on that page.
I'm still struggling with this. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Okay, I got it. Again, I got it. I couldn't pull up the chat, but there it looks like there's nobody really. There's
I got five lurking.
Okay, hi, 5 lurking. Thank you for lurking. It's fine. Okay, so the whole idea of the wholesale laws, which, by the way, I wanted to let everybody know, of course, with your permission, T, since you're going to be helping me, I don't think I need to ask permission. I am having another pop-up auction today at 3 o'clock. You guys have so much stuff to share, literally such an abundance of stuff. And hi, Misha, Renee, and Maggie Doodle. Yes, they're coming in. I am picking up a storage unit tomorrow, which is massive. I went and I looked at it. So it's really important, if you do buy storage units, to build relationships with the storage facility managers and the employees. So I went back to go pick up my deposit last week. I went back to pick up my deposit, and the woman said to me, the facility manager said to me, "So what do you do with the things that you get out of storage units?" And I said, "Well, I sell some things on eBay. eBay's actually taken a little bit of a side sidestep from what I do with the storage auctions every week, because I am doing like 2 weeks, and will this be my third this week? I did one Wednesday,
Well,
I did one
consider today
Friday.
a new day of the week.
Sunday's a new day. Okay, yeah, Sunday's a new day. so, so anyway, so she was like, so, and so I said, and then I do live like wholesale auctions on YouTube. I said, you can look me up on YouTube by my name, and you can find, what I do. And she said to me, she says, we have a storage unit that was surrendered this morning. So now the difference between a surrendered unit and a liened unit is when someone defaults on their payment, usually a storage facility will give them 3 months. When someone defaults on their payment, there's lots of fees that go on top of what they already owe, late fees and administrative fees and all these other fees, lien fees, and the storage facility are, by law, they need to publicly post that storage unit so that the rightful owners of the things in that unit have an opportunity to buy back the items. So that's why they put them up for auction.
Okay, so I've never done storage units. Can you just tell me, do they actually have to publish that is there like a criteria, like, 3 newspapers for 2 weeks, or what's
unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't know the criteria. I know that they have to advertise it like in the local newspaper. They have to advertise it on their website. So when I had time, and I don't have time to do this anymore, you go to their website and you can see which storage units are going up for auction. And actually the person's name that owns the storage unit is listed on that page. Who owns it. You can take that name and you can do a Google search of the person that owned it. You can do a Facebook search, and you can find out who owns that storage unit and kind of see what kind of person it is, and it helps determine whether or not you want to actually place a bid on it.
Okay, well, with the internet today, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong with this too, it's hard to really find out the nitty-gritty about somebody unless you're paying for some sort of service. Do you pay for some sort of service? Like, I know there's a lot of stuff out there, like check criminal record or check, last address. You can still find those things out publicly.
There's so much information on the internet, and all you really have to do is put the person's name and then write the word arrest next to the person's name. And if there's any arrest records with that person's name anywhere in the country, it will come up on the internet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You just have to write the word arrest. That's it. So, so back to my story. So she was like, so I said, I auction things off and I sell things on. So she said to me, we have a unit that was surrendered. And I said, okay. And she said, if you want it, you can have it. She says, I would like to give it to you if you want it. She says, we don't have to auction it off because the owner of the unit has surrendered it. So when an owner surrenders a unit, they sign a piece of paper with the facility that they have surrendered their unit. They don't necessarily have to be behind on the payments. They can just surrender it. And some facilities, I imagine, must charge a fee to dispose of the stuff, and they charge that to the customer. This particular unit in particular, and by the way, people are storage facilities. They're pretty gracious with giving you information about. Of course, if you're nice to them, there's a way to ask and there's a way to ask. It's all in how you approach a question and how you approach yourself. They'll give you the information a little bit. Well, this unit was because of blah, blah, blah. So the story with this unit is the woman owned a house in Puerto Rico. And when the hurricane hit Puerto Rico, there was devastation. And apparently her mother and her siblings lived in her house in Puerto Rico. So she took her entire household belongings here. I don't know if she had a condo, an apartment, or a home. I don't know. She put them in a storage facility, and she literally was like on the next plane as soon as she could fly out to Puerto Rico. And so she called the facility and told them that she wasn't returning back to the States, that she was going to stay in Puerto Rico, and that she was surrendering her storage unit. And she probably had to pay something, I didn't ask, to the storage unit facility. So now they don't have to auction that off. That is their property. They have her letter of surrender, and they can do whatever they want. They can dump it, they can give it to me, so they gave it to me. So it's a 5 by 13, and it's about 15 feet tall. I already went to look at it. And the woman actually went and bought Home Depot boxes, and they're all neatly stacked. So I'm assuming it's mostly just household stuff. And, it's not like the storage units that I usually like to buy, which I usually like to buy dust. I usually like to buy storage units that have boxes that have layers of dust. My last storage unit was locked up for 18 years. The woman paid on it for 18 years. This one's going to be pretty new kind of stuff. A lot of it will get donated. I'll go in, I'll pick and choose what I want, and then the rest of it will all get donated. The furniture will go to the consignment shop, or on the Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. She'll give me a couple of days to clean it out, so I have to do that tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of work. It's a big unit.
It is a lot of work. I'm sure probably in the back of your mind, well, she wouldn't have abandoned it if she had diamonds and money in there, right? So
No.
We're not looking for anything major, but you know what? Even your normal household stuff like vases and plates and things like that, the hard goods, you still can make money on that stuff.
You never know. There could be pocketbooks in there. She may have been, into designer pocketbooks or shoes or, designer clothing. You just never know. But looking at the unit, I mean, if it looked like the stuff was like just thrown in, I probably wouldn't have taken it, only because I'm very, very busy this week. The kids are going back to school and there's a lot going on. But because it's so, and I did a little video, which I'll combine the video with when I go actually pick up the unit tomorrow, and I'll make a little video. But it's everything's neatly stacked. So obviously she took very good care of her items. She didn't go and get boxes here, there, or anywhere else. She actually went to Home Depot, bought boxes, packed her things very nicely, and stacked them all in the unit. So because of that, because of seeing that, I'm going to take the unit.
And then when you go in there and you're packing stuff to take with you, do you organize it there, or do you just take it home and do it at home?
Okay, so most of the time, like 99% of the time, I will sort at the unit, and I will put in trash bags what's going to the trash. I'll separate what's being donated, and then I will take, and my friend Dolores, big shout out to her, because she helps me so much, and she just does it out of the kindness of her heart. And then we bring actual totes. I use those black Home Depot big black totes with the yellow lids, and we pack all the items that are coming home, because I no longer have a storage unit myself. We've turned our 2-car garage into our inventory room. My husband's a little upset about that because we can't park the truck in the garage anymore.
Yeah, I have a husband that's not happy with my stuff either.
Trying to get a handle of it. But so only things that have been shaken out and wiped down and cleaned up go into the totes, and then the totes come home, because in case there's critters, and there's always some sort of critter, whether it be, my last unit was termites, and thank goodness I live in a cinder block cement house, but I don't think I took home any termites because I was really careful with that. But cockroaches, mice, that stuff, no matter how diligent the storage facility is with exterminating, like this particular facility that I'm getting the things from tomorrow, it's in a kind of high rent district area of West Palm Beach. It's very, very high end. It's absolutely beautiful. It's air conditioned. I mean, it is, when I tell you spotless and shiny, However, what happens is the facility is really beautiful, but the people that rent the units, they may be bringing the cockroaches or the termites or the mice from their own homes.
Right.
So it's not necessarily always the facility's problem, facility's fault that they're not keeping up. It's the people that are bringing in the stuff
Yeah.
that,
Well, you have to think that it probably a lot of, well, I won't say all, but a lot of folks who need to put their stuff in a storage unit or might be being evicted. They may not be the cleanliest to begin with. You know, they're tossing toaster ovens that still have crumbs in them and food and who knows what else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I worked in restaurants when I was younger, and no matter how much they brought in exterminators, when food's around, it doesn't matter. They'll find a way.
Yeah, it's all different situations. Like I bought a storage unit from that was clearly a young woman's storage unit who had been incarcerated, and the paperwork that I found in the unit, her children had been taken away by the Department of Social Services several times, not just once. And she had been incarcerated, and she had a lot of spiritual books and a lot of so I mean, who knows? I did Google her name. Sometimes I try not to. There's some people that do all kinds of like research, or who owned the unit. I never contact people.
Right. I imagine there might be some people out there who might do that ahead of time to see if they can undermine and get them to sell it to them. I would think there's some of that nonsense going on too.
Yeah, some I know the storage pirate had a woman approach him while he was emptying out her facility. She got on the property somehow, and most properties are gated, so you have to like have permission to enter the premises. But somehow she got on the property. I don't know how she got on the property, but she approached him, and he had the camera rolling, I guess. And
Now that's Mike's storage auction pirate, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, Rebecca. Thank you for coming in. And she was like crying and crying and asked if she could have her things back. And he's, he gave her everything back. I think she paid like $300 for the unit or something. He just took a loss and felt bad for her and gave everything back. If someone approached me and wanted their things back, I would give them back their things too. I definitely would give them back their things. I had another storage unit where the woman had some documents from spousal abuse protection services.
Order of protection, yeah.
And she just kind of disappeared. And then I left behind at the facility all her paperwork and all her beautiful albums of a beautiful daughter, and I left behind a bunch of personal stuff. And it was about 2 months later, I bought another unit at that same facility, and I asked the ladies if they were ever able to get in touch with the woman and return her personal effects, and they said no. They said they still had them. So I said, how long do you hold on to them for? And the woman said, there's stuff back there that's been in that. They use a storage unit, and they mark the person's name, and they pick a corner with all of their legal documents or pictures or whatever it is people like me surrender. And she said, there's stuff in that unit that's been in there for years.
Yeah, well, you probably have to think they're afraid to come back because they owe money, right? They don't want to be charged anything. I don't know.
I don't know. They just no one answers the phone. The phone goes to voicemail, and they said they've tried repeatedly and haven't been able to get in touch with her. So you have to have a thick skin for this this business. It's sometimes it can get a little bit sad when you're kind of going through people's things and see. So the storage unit that I got last week, I didn't look up the person's name, but she had a couple of DUIs, so she may be incarcerated.
Yeah,
I don't know. She's another one that just stopped answering her phone, answering messages, and they just put her stuff up for auction. So she, I don't know how many strikes you can have with DUIs, but she had a bunch of documents from West Palm Beach courthouse for DUI.
It all depends too on if there was an accident involved or, God forbid, a death. I had a gentleman work for us when we had the restaurant, and he was involved with killing someone here on a local highway, and he's still in jail. You know, so something like that, he's probably in jail now 10 years. I don't know what his prognosis is, so to speak, as far as his time or whatever, but yeah, he might be in there for 25 years because it was involved with, you know, they call it vehicular homicide, you know, vehicular manslaughter, whatever it is, and you know, you get a certain amount of time. So yeah, she could be incarcerated for 20 years.
Someone paid on the unit for 19 years.
Wow.
At monthly out of their like checking account, and then the facility, this is the same facility that I'm going to tomorrow, and then the facility manager said, and then it just stopped, and they didn't have a phone number or anything to contact the owner. But yeah, 18 or 19 years, every month it was just an automatic withdrawal out of a checking account. So this woman kind of just basically disappeared, and after 19 years, the money ran out. And
no, you don't know. She had an alcohol problem too. God forbid, she could have just, you know, she could have been just laying on the side of the road herself. You know, you just don't know.
You just don't know. You just don't know. So yeah. So anyways, on a happy note, I get these wonderful storage unit full of stuff, and I pass on my savings to buyers. Yeah, we could talk about the sadness of mini storages. That could be a whole show in itself, right?
Yeah.
How sad it is. It's yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how much money people invest in keeping things. I mean, I know even for myself, this was way before I bought storage units or even sold eBay. I've only been selling eBay for 2 years. When we moved here from Boston, we got a mini storage because we went from a 5,000 square foot home down to a 1,600 square foot home. Our first home was really small, and we were going to build an addition on it. So we put a lot of our big chunky furniture, like the piece behind me, our, you know, big stuff, we put them in a storage facility. Well, we never built that addition on that house. We ended up selling that house and buying another house. So we had all the stuff in a mini storage for probably about 2.5 years. And it was just a lot of household crap, except for some of my really nice pieces. And yeah, 2.5 years we paid on that mini storage. When you think of like the money that you waste, because you know what I ended up doing? I ended up just picking a couple of my favorite pieces, and everything else got donated. Everything else got donated. So I paid 2.5 years on a mini storage to just donate everything ultimately at the end. And down here in Florida, mini storages there's one like on every corner, because our homes down here in Florida, we don't have attics and we don't have basements.
Right.
They're built on slabs, and our attics are usually like just small spaces where the air conditioning, you know, they just,
yeah.
It's not like up north where you have a huge attic, you know, huge, you know, with 2 or 3 rooms. One is like an actual dorm or attic room, and then you have a couple of finished rooms up there in the attic too. And then you have a full basement, right?
Yeah, I do.
You do. So we have no basement. So what do you do with your Christmas stuff, your Halloween stuff, your Easter stuff? You know, if you live in a house without any storage place and you want to park your car inside, because down here in Florida, the summers are so harsh on vehicles that they really do a number on your vehicles. So you have to park your cars inside the garage. And, you know, what do you do with your stuff? You have to get a mini storage.
Yeah. So
everybody has a mini storage down here. Like everybody does. It's just part of living. So, you know, any week I have an option of bidding on 5 or 6. I usually bid on like 8 to 10 storage units a week, and then people outbid me. You know, I'll pick and choose. You know, which one. Sometimes I even win on 2 of them, and those are my crazy weeks. It's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work,
It is a
especially if
lot.
they're bigger. I mean, how long do you think it will take you Monday to get rid of this storage unit or empty it? Do you think you'll have enough time?
Well, I mean, since I didn't buy it and I'm under contract, I'm not under contract with it, and I'm just working nicely with the storage facility. I told her that I'd try to get it out 2 or 3 days at the most. It's gonna be, unless I go down there with a box truck. I we have a pickup truck with a 7-foot bed, so it can fit a lot. It's gonna be minimum 3 loads with a 7-foot bed. Unless I decide to go get a box truck, then we can try to get it all out in one day and try to sort through it and maybe keep the box truck parked. It's like $30 a day to get a box truck once you're done with the mileage. So the mileage is like $1.20 a mile. It's round trip. It's probably 30 miles. So you got to think of all that cuts into
Your profit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, in this case, it's
We
free.
didn't buy it, right?
And buy it. So I can justify getting a box truck and then maybe keeping it a day or two and posting the furniture on the marketplace or bringing it to the consignment shop and then, sorting through it with the box truck, which we can't have the box truck in our community, which is another problem.
You mentioned that. You said you have to park it up by the church, right?
If we park our pickup truck off premises, we park it at the church, up the street. The U-Haul truck or Ryder or whatever I end up getting, that. Good morning, Debbie. Thank you for joining. I will never get a box truck again, which sucks, but I will. I just will.
Not. she's just adamant. Rebecca says she just will not.
Hi, Rebecca. Did you have a bad?
Good morning, Debbie.
I wonder what happened. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to get a box truck tomorrow. I'll just plan accordingly. I might just go down there, look and see what I'm up against, and then decide from there, instead of going down there right from the word go with the box truck.
Okay.
So I need to clear out some stuff today in my garage, you guys, because my garage is full from last week's, and I have great items. I have Tino some of the stuff that I found. I've shown her, so I have a lot of really, really great items, which is why I'm doing this pop-up auction today to see if I can liquidate. I mean, you guys know, like, I start my clothing lots at $25, and it costs me $10 to ship it out. Plus, I pay PayPal fees. So I'm only in, and T knows how much work it is to invoice.
It is a lot of work. So Rebecca's saying that's what pulled out in front of her husband. So I get it, Rebecca, and I hope he's feeling
Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I know.
So that's why she kind of relates the box truck now to that.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah. So,
all right. So you have a busy day today because
I have a busy day. Plus,
I get that garage in order, and we're going to have a pop-up auction at 3:00. Okay.
Plus, I need to take my daughter last-minute school shopping because we went to 3 stores yesterday, and she couldn't find the first day of school top.
I remember those days.
3 stores. She didn't like anything, so she wants to go to Ross today. She doesn't want to go to the mall. We went to TJ Maxx. We went to Stein Mart. We went to Marshall's. Today we're going to go to Ross. I don't know what she's looking for, but she's looking for that first day of school top. It needs to be just, that's my 6-foot tall 15-year-old. But you know what she's going to do? She's going to buy a top, and then she's going to put one of her volleyball sweatshirts on top of the top and wear her sweatshirt, because the schools are so cold down here. They keep the schools, they're like ice boxes, air conditioned. And these kids freeze sitting in classrooms all day. My daughter wears a hoodie and a sweatshirt to school every single day, and long pants.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, because she freezes. They can wear flip-flops and shorts if they want, but they don't. All the kids wear hoodies and long pants because it's so cold in school.
Oh, good, Rebecca. I'm glad to hear that. She says he's doing good. Good.
Oh, thank goodness.
So, all right, let's kind of transition a little bit over. Okay, so now we've got the storage unit. You're packing it away, you're sorting it out, and you get it home. And now, what are you doing?
So now I decide what goes on eBay and what goes by bulk bundle. Now on my new Facebook group and at auction. I don't look everything up. I take whatever jewelry I have and I throw it in a big bin, which I got to stop doing that. I got to separate the bins because my daughter and I spent like 2 hours trying to match up earrings because I don't want to sell jewelry lots without matched earrings. I don't think that's right. So unless I do it as a craft lot. So now when I dump the jewelry, they just all get stuck together. So I'm going to start doing little boxes, for each unit, and when I have time to match it. There's always a bunch of costume jewelry in these units that I buy, so much jewelry. I don't always look things up. I think you were on, I know Rebecca was on the auction the other night. I had a woman's lot of designer clothes, you guys. So I had a woman's lot of designer clothes, and they were all beautiful designer clothes. And a woman came on and she said, what is the date under the wheel carriage on the tag in the back? I had no idea that there was even a date on the denim jackets. And it was a Levi's jacket. And it came out of a unit that I bought that I have. I'm going to try to get to that stuff in the garage today. I have probably about, I don't want to exaggerate, but 600 or 700 pieces of vintage denim jackets and jeans and vests. Truly vintage, like Tommy Hilfiger. When I was at the storage unit, I looked up one of the Tommy Hilfiger jeans, and they sold in upwards of $100. And I have like 600 pieces of this stuff that I haven't even touched because I've bought so many other storage units since then. Anyways, back to the story for the woman. Rebecca sends me a message. Yeah, that jean jacket sold in upwards of $200. So the woman's lot was at like $65. The woman asks, does it have, what's the date on the bottom of the wheel well? And I don't know if you remember, T, the date that she said. It's still here. I haven't mailed it out, but it was like 18 something.
Right.
I don't remember what it was, and it was
1871, I think.
I don't know. Yeah,
Something like that. Something like that. I don't remember exactly, but there was two.
1873, Rebecca, 1873. So obviously, this woman, she knew what she was looking for, and the bid went from $65. She bid $100. Boom. Just like that. I was like, uh-oh, what do I have here?
Right.
It's like that. You're like, uh-oh. And anyway, so she won the box for $100. So she got the jacket. And that one jacket, she's going to pay for the whole box. And everything else in that box is all gorgeous designer ladies' clothes. So she'll probably make an upwards of $400, even $500 with that $100 investment. And again, she bought it from the comfort of her living room. And that goes to prove, that was proof right there that I don't look everything up. I grab things, put them in boxes. My husband was like, oh my gosh, you let something like that go. Why didn't you look it up? But to me, I look at that as she's a repeat customer. She's coming back. She's coming back to my next auction because she knows that she can get good deals from me. So, that was like $100 worth, like an advertisement that you would pay for to have, someone would see your ad and come to your store. And so I'm good. I'm good with her making profit. I want people to be able to make a profit on things that they buy from me so that they'll keep buying from me.
Yeah.
Keep coming back. Like Anthony Pittsburgh, he bought an electronics lot from me, and he was talking on one of his shows, and he was like, hey, Donatella, he's like, I got your box, and he was all full of all kinds of stuff. He says, I sold 2 items right away from your box, and and paid for the box, and the rest of it is all profit. And I was like, woo, that's what I want to hear. That's awesome. That's my goal. That's my goal. liquidate some of the stuff. I could never list as much stuff as I have, ever, 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 ever. So I'm so glad I've talked
Too much. I mean, when you talk about the storage unit that you're going to pick up tomorrow, and if it's packed to the ceiling 5x13, oh my gosh, no, you would be crazy to do that.
It's like, it's 5x13 by probably 15 tall, packed all the way to the very, very top. Like, they utilized every square inch of the storage unit. It's insane. Darlene, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Darlene. We're not singing to you. No, on her show every morning. She doesn't necessarily sing to everybody. Tracy sings to everybody, but
I'm not singing.
Donna's having a pop-up auction this afternoon on her channel. I'm going to put the link in.
Thank you, T. And T's going to help me. T's going to help me with it. And I asked Rebecca to come on. She's going to be out shopping, and she's going to, if she gets home in time, she's going to help us also. But I think T and I got it. I think that we'll be able to manage. Yeah.
We need somebody out. Did we ever find Melissa last night? She never showed up last night.
Oh, I'm going to send her a message when we get off. I'll send her an email and let her know that we're having. Maybe she decided to go out and have, a little night out for herself. Good for her.
I didn't make Pat D's show last night. I went to sleep.
What?
I said I didn't make Pat D's show last night. I went to sleep, so I apologize.
Yeah,
I think Rebecca might have been on. I'm sorry, Rebecca.
I popped in for a minute, and then I had to go pick up my daughter. Was babysitting last night, so I had to go pick her up at the house that she was babysitting at. And then when I came back, I popped back on. Everybody was still on, but I think I was asleep within 5 minutes. I was exhausted yesterday. Darlene,
it's 3 p.m. I put the link there again.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern time, you guys. 3 p.m. Eastern time, and I hope I get some. I hope I get a lot of people in, but if I don't get a lot of people in, the people that are in are going to get really good deals, because I hope to just liquidate some stuff today. I need to get rid of some stuff.
And trust me, they're good deals. I buy from Donna all the time. I can't buy today, though. I'm going to run the auction. So
yeah, absolutely. So yeah.
All right, so again, her wholesale page on Facebook, guys, please make sure that you are, joining, whether or not, you sell or don't sell. It's just a good way to find out about what things are worth. Same thing with her storage auction unit page, but her wholesale Facebook page, let me put that again in the link. I mean, it's up at the top, and I'll put it in the description below. If I could spell. You guys can join either group. We'll let you.
Yep, and give T a thumbs up, you guys, for this video today.
Yes, guys, please thumbs up. Appreciate you guys all stopping by. I know it's early on a Sunday morning, but I do this, Saturday and Sunday since I work all week, although I haven't been working for the last couple of weeks. But at some point, I will have to go back to my job, and my boss is going to kill me. Eventually, we'll want to go do this full time, but not ready to do that just yet. Oh, Darlene said she was excited that you added her. Of course, why not? We invited her to the group. Now, Darlene's not a reseller, but you never know. We may turn her around. We may bring her to the dark side.
Oh, which reminds me, you guys, like each other's channels and like each other's YouTube channels. Even if people don't have any content, if you're watching a live stream on someone's, go down, if people are making comments, even if they don't have a YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to them anyways, because I was a lurker for 2 years, and I would make a comment every once in a while, and it took me over a year to get over being camera shy and getting on YouTube and starting to put up videos and content. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is to go ahead and subscribe to people, even if they have no content, because you never know, a year from now or 2 years from now, they may have an idea to start a YouTube channel, whether it's an inspirational channel like Joy does, or whatever it may be, a reselling one, and they're going to have that head start, and you can be part of the contribution of that head start. So yeah, subscribe. It doesn't cost any money to subscribe to someone.
Right.
Just subscribe. If someone's in a chat in a group that you're interested in and they're having conversations, subscribe. That's all I can say. Oops, we have a kitten here.
A kitten. Oh yeah.
Anybody want a kitten? I can put it in the next wholesale box. I'll be happy to.
Oh. Don't tell Pat he's always looking to buy birds. Maybe the next thing he'll look to buy is your cat.
Gosh, I'm so over it. Show them love.
I think he always jokes with Debbie about her cat. Her bird, rather.
Yeah, I'm not a cat lover, so my husband is. I mean, I tolerate them.
Yeah.
My husband's the cat lover.
My aunt came in from Las Vegas to live with my dad, and she brought along her furry friend, the cat. We're dog people. I was grown up with dogs. Always had dogs. It's the first time we have no pets at all, unfortunately, because we lost our last pup a little bit ago. So we have kind of decided that we're not going to get another one until we move, because believe it or not, one of our dogs, when we first moved to this house way back when, 20 years ago, he got lost and never came back. And I believe it's because he wasn't familiar with the area, because we had just moved, and that was a sad time for us. But
somebody took him in.
I'm sorry?
Hopefully somebody took him in.
Yeah, I hope so. He was a rescue too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have an Australian Shepherd, and he's going to be 10 on August 31st, and he's like one of my kids. Like I would like his brother. I'm good friends with his brother's mom. We're Facebook friends. We found each other on the Breeders Facebook page, and his brother's very sick right now. They were born on the same day, and his brother's really sick. So it's kind of makes me sad, because Australian Shepherds have a life expectancy of 9 to 12 years. He's 10. He still acts like a puppy, but she told me that it was just a matter of like 2 months. He's just started going downhill. And then she took him, and he has Cushing's disease, and he has slowed way down. And it just makes me really sad, because, it could happen like that. So yeah, I have my fur babies. Okay. So Misha, this cat, this little kitten right here is so we had a black cat, and we had it for 19 or 20 years, and her name was Misha. So this is a new kitten, and my husband's calling her Misha. So every time I see your name, Misha, I think of our first Misha my husband brought home from a camping trip that he was on. He found her in an old barn, and she had an injury, and he nursed her back to health. He brought her. We were engaged to be married. And so anyway, she died of old age. She had a really good life. And so now we have this one, and he named her Misha again, because he loved his Misha.
Oh, okay. How famous she is, Misha. Renee, your name all over there.
Yeah. And we actually have a Christmas ornament, a black cat Christmas ornament, and we spelt Misha the same way that she spells her name, Misha. I don't know if that's your first name, but Misha is a Sicilian word. It's a general word that you use to call a cat. Like in English, we say kitty, come here, kitty. In Sicilian, you say Misha. Come here, Misha.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Misha. That's a Misha is a Misha is a. I have no idea what that is. Misha is a female cat, and Miju is a male cat. I don't know if you know that, Misha. So yeah.
Okay. So guys, the whole idea, just so you kind of know behind her wholesale page, is that you guys as resellers And I know, Rebecca, you do storage units, and Misha, I'm not sure what you specialize in. Debbie, I know you resell stuff. So the whole idea is to kind of go out there and list your wholesale items. We're not restricting anybody, as long as it's, to that topic, right? No spam, no advertising, none of that other nonsense. But when it comes to the wholesale units, yeah, go out and post them out there. And then you can either provide a link to your eBay store, or I guess, what's the other way, Donna? They can just invoice the person. How else can they go about doing that?
So I'm still kind of working out the bugs, right? I just had the idea like a week ago, and there's already 100 plus members on it.
118, I just checked.
118, yeah, isn't that great? So it's just going to be a transaction between buyer and seller. I think I put a little disclaimer in there that I'm not going to take any responsibility for any transactions that transpire within the group. That has to be worked out. I do suggest that people use PayPal and invoice, so that way they have that PayPal protection. And I also do strongly suggest that people do bill people with shippable goods. That's very, very important. I had heard a story of a man who was selling items on the Facebook Marketplace, and he was invoicing people, and people were sending him funds through friends and family on PayPal. And PayPal kind of was like, okay, there's an awful lot of transactions to friends and family here. Like I do a lot of transactions to friends and family, but it's always to the same account. I have two accounts, so I transfer money back and forth to the two accounts. But this guy was receiving friends and family funds from all these random people, and PayPal got a red flag on his account, and he got suspended indefinitely. Like, he's not getting his PayPal. He abused the rules and regulations of PayPal. So I strongly, strongly suggest pay that $2, $3, whatever it is that it costs to transfer the money through shippable items, or invoice through shippable items, so that you don't get in trouble with PayPal. So yeah, as far as the group goes, definitely invoice for shippable items. And then that's as far as I've gotten with the group. I mean, hopefully there's not any problems, and I don't get any messages that, oh, I bought this from this person in the group and it ended up being this. We'll see if that happens. Hopefully it won't. As the group grows, it's going to be harder to kind of control trolls and, who's in it.
Good morning, Mama.
Good morning.
So Mama makes dream catchers. Yeah.
Pictures. Ooh, I gotta go get it. Chat with the group for a minute. I want to share.
So I think the protection there, guys, for everybody is, if you can, and I know you have to pay fees for eBay, but this is just another platform that you can advertise your eBay store, right? So put your listings on eBay and provide the link of the wholesale lot that you're selling. If you want to avoid those fees, then you can just invoice. But again, there's no protection on Donna's side as far as if something goes wrong with that. At least if you're doing transactions through PayPal or through eBay, you have a protection there. Vice versa, you may not get a buyer if you're not providing that link through PayPal, and you're just, if they don't know you, they may not, know that you're a reputable seller because they don't have access to your eBay store. So it's just a way that you want to protect yourself as well.
So Mama, look at this. I had a small charity store that I owned. A lot of you know I had a son who died of cancer. And after he died, I opened up a charity store to help other families that are battling pediatric cancer. And I had a woman who used to come in, an older woman who used to come in. She did jewelry. She loved to do jewelry. And I had this dream catcher that I'm going to show you hanging by the register. It was a gift from one of my customers. And so everybody wanted to buy this dream catcher. Everybody that came into the store said, how much is the dream catcher? And I'd say, no, it's not for sale. It's for catching my dreams. And so anyways, her name is Lisa, and I asked her if she was a crafter. She was a retired woman, and I asked her if she wanted to start making dream catchers for me because so many people were interested in dream catchers. So someone had donated a whole bunch of, the looms, the round looms that people use to do like cross stitching and stuff, like a whole big bag of them. So I gave her those, and I had all kinds of. I gave her a big, huge bag of miscellaneous jewelry, and she went out and bought feathers, and I reimbursed her. And then I gave her some leather coats, and I gave her some fur coats, and I gave her some belts with different like things on the belts, like different buckles and anyways. And she made for the store the most beautiful dream catchers, and this was the inspiration. The most beautiful dream catchers, and I put them on Facebook, and people were coming from all over to buy dream catchers. Like they were that beautiful. Okay, here it is. She said, "Put me on full screen so I can hold it up."
Yep,
and
absolutely. Oh, how do I do it? No, wrong way. I went the wrong way. How do I? Oh shoot! I don't remember how to do it.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, almost wrong one.
No, I know it's the wrong way. How do I go? No. How do I do this, guys? I don't remember.
It's okay. Just leave it on that. I'll show them. It's fine. So as you can see, like this is real pheasant. Oh, there I am. A pheasant's body, and these are all real feathers, and it's pheasant. And a lot of these feathers are and then this is like raw wool and all kinds of leather ties, and then like see like things like this, that, and then the beads. So I would give Lisa like all this, and I still have it. Even when I closed the store, I didn't sell it. I didn't put it away. It hangs in my eBay room. Um, but yeah, you can see it's really really cool, with all these leather strips, and it's not like your traditional open through it, but it's open around the sides. Here's another eagle feather.
Donna, just so you know, we're losing your voice behind that, I think, because we didn't hear a
Uh,
lot that you
I
said.
have to be right in front. Yeah, I have to be right in front. I need to do something about a little clip-on speaker. Yeah. So anyway, this is how beautiful it is. This is how beautiful it is, and yeah. Um, so even though you're not, if you're not a wholesaler and you don't sell on eBay and stuff, keep in mind, like she used to use bits and pieces of my jewelry, and she would like take apart the jewelry, restring them on like leather straps like this here. And then she used to take like my belts, and some of the fancy belts, they have those like these sort of things, like the cowboy belts, they have like these sort of things here. So you can take those off the leather straps of the belts, and you can even use the leather. She would take the leather of the belts, and the ones that were woven, she would cut them and unweave them to get the leather strips. And then she would even cut like a regular leather belt with a tooling knife. She would cut the leather, and she would put leather. She would take the leather and like do crisscrosses, around the dream catchers. So some of them, her dream catchers were amazing, and it was all.
Because you say dream catchers, and what I picture as a dream catcher, I thought with these little tiny, like crystal, almost glass things
No,
with wrought iron. That's what I always thought a dream catcher was. That's so funny. I just got an education. I didn't even know.
No. This is a dream catcher. There's also a different type. There's also a different type of dream catcher. I'm going to show it to you. I have it right here. Hold on one second.
Okay. Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, that now I know why everybody came into the store and wanted it. Mama says I do the webbing in mine. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's beautiful. But I didn't realize that's what they call dream catchers. I'm living in a different world. I thought those are the things you put up in your window that like kind of reflect, have that stained glass look.
I didn't know Mama made dream catchers. I love dream catchers. I absolutely love them. I just sold 3 dream catchers on eBay that were really, really beautiful. This is a traditional dream catcher.
Okay.
And this one has a little amethyst stone in it, right in the middle of it. And so you see how it's got the transparency in it? Not the transparency, but it's how it's open.
Right.
And traditionally, like that's how the dreams are supposed to go through there. And yeah. And so this is kind of like just a little inexpensive one, but it's pretty. It's got that little, so I don't know who made this. I don't even know where I acquired it. It may have come from a storage unit, but this definitely looks like somebody took a little piece of jewelry.
Right. Little crystal.
Yeah. So
Lisa, did she resell those at all? Did she have a business where she made them and sold them, or was it just a hobby that she did?
for Mama?
No, the one you showed us, the one that was hanging in the store. You said her name was Lisa?
Yeah. No, she made them for me.
She wasn't like selling them. It wasn't a business of hers or anything.
She made them for me for free. I gave her all of the supplies. I gave her all the jewelry. I gave her everything, and she would take them home. And she was a retired woman, and she would take them home, and she used to volunteer in my store, and that was kind of like her contribution. She did it for therapy. She just loved making them and creating things, and she was kind of wealthy and didn't really need to work. She just was loving doing it. And yeah, so someone donated a whole big, huge bag of macrame one time, macrame cord. Sorry, hold on. My card.
Mama, I thought that would be a mandala. Okay, I guess that's another word. She's saying she thought that dream catcher you had in your hand might be a mandala.
Mandala? I
don't know what a mandala is either.
I thought that was an instrument.
No, it's a mandolin. And then Darlene's saying that's what we do here, Donna. We have all kinds of supplies from rough items we just refurbish or repurpose, right? We say repurpose now.
Hold on, I just need to talk to my daughter for a minute.
Okay.
Where are you going? Just taking you.
I have one of those made for me, and the hoop is pine needles wrapped on a circle, and then the rest was woven with a quartz stone. I guess I have to get a little familiar with some of that stuff because I'm not, Darlene knows this for sure because we have Art Tuesdays, and I'm not crafty at all. The furthest the closest I come is my scrapbook, which isn't great anyway, but.
So did we determine is this one's a dream catcher, and she said that the big one is a mandala?
No, I think she's saying the one in your hand was a mandala. I'm not sure.
Oh, I do webbing in mine. Yeah, so this would be considered webbing. So what? Yeah, so what I was saying was that someone donated a huge bag of macrame cord, and I gave it to her, and she did a whole bunch of them with the webbing inside, and then she took beautiful precious jewels. She made an all-white one with white feathers and white macrame cord, and she wrapped the hoops with the white macrame cord, and then she used all kinds of beautiful like bling bling diamonds and crystals, and
right.
It was absolutely, I called it I know. I gave her a wedding dress. That was all, it was actually my idea to make the wedding one. I gave her a wedding dress that was all stained, and she cut off pieces of the wedding dress and put it was a big one, and she put it on the dream catcher, the pearls, and the beads and stuff. I think I ended up selling that dream catcher for like $75. It was that beautiful. It came out absolutely gorgeous. So I had wedding dress on it. It had feathers and crystals and jewels. Yeah. So I love.
So she's saying the big one. So I was wrong. She was saying the big one she thought was a mandala, and then Darlene's saying that she would love to do some hats for the children at the hospital as a contribution.
Darlene, I would love to do that, and we will definitely talk about that. I was actually bidding on Derek's GI Joes last night at his auction because I wanted to bring those up to the hospital, and that would have been nice if I had some hats and some. Yeah, and Darlene, let me know if you need supplies to do stuff like that too, because I get so much stuff, and even if you just pay for the shipping, I'll be happy to ship it out to you, and get you some things. You tell me what you're looking for. I know that you like to use ribbons and flowers and stuff like that. I hate to even tell you, I threw away like a trash bag full of flowers, like my last storage unit, and they were all in great condition. I probably should have.
Donna,
Saved.
that's another question I have for you with the hospital, because I know that at your auction Friday night, there was a thing of plush that someone bought and wanted to donate it. And I understand the plush and the clothes because of critters and things, bed bugs, things that can. What is the restrictions? Like, you said they would take the GI Joes even with the clothes and stuff? That wouldn't be an issue.
Oh, Chris the Goose, I think. I'm trying to look. I think it was Chris the Goose. I think it was Chris the Goose that bought the stuffed animals, and we're actually going to do a video. I think today. I'm going to bring them to the emergency response building here in Palm Beach Gardens, which has like the fire department and the police department, because they usually carry stuffed animals in the police cruisers and on the fire trucks. When I had my store, I used to donate to the fire department stuffed animals all the time, because if they come upon an accident, they have children in the car, or if they have to go to a domestic violence situation at a home where there's children, they have the stuffed animals with them. They keep some in their cruisers, and they at least have like a little toy that they can give to a child that may be in hysterics over whatever the situation is.
Okay.
So that's where this bundle will go. I'll do a little video on it and post. My daughter and I are going to go do that today, which is be a great thing to do, and I'm going to add a whole bunch more stuff to it.
Okay. So what are the other restrictions?
Yeah, so the hospital, no stuffed animals. They will take stuffed animals if they're like new with tags from the store, and that's even debatable. They really only like to take like hard surface toys. So the GI Joes that I was bidding on last night for Derek, even though they had clothes on them, they don't like to take things that are, with germs. But I think the GI Joe, since they're kind of like hard surface with a little bit of clothing, they would have accepted them. And the reason why they probably would have accepted them was because boys are so hard to gift in the hospital. Like I did the video where I brought the NASCARs. I brought a whole bunch of NASCARs, and those are all hard surface. And those can go to a boy like between the ages of 8 and 15, 16, 17 years old. They're in pediatrics. I mean, I remember my son, that volunteers used to come around with a cart like once a day, and the children could pick something from the cart, and there were items that were donated. And my son was 11 years old, and he would like look at the toys and be like, there's like nothing here I want. This stuff is like for babies or for girls. Boys are so hard to like. But the GI Joes, they probably would have liked, and the NASCARs, I know he would have flipped out if someone came in with a cart full of NASCARs. Yeah, they're really strict. When I had the store and I would donate to the hospital, I kind of knew everybody that was there, and they used to let me actually go in. Now there's so many rules with that, with HEPA. Privacy. Yeah. So what I do is I donate to this wonderful organization. It's owned by a psychiatrist that has privileges at the hospital. It's a nonprofit. It's called Pediatric Support Team, and I'll bring things to her, and it's in my video. And she has privileges at the hospital, and she brings them to the hospital, and we usually make cards, and we put "with love from Denali." Denali was my son's name, and we attach the cards to all of the toys that we donate. So yeah, long story short, we can't do stuffed animals. We can't do anything soft, plushy that holds germs or mites or anything like that. It has to be like board games, anything hard surface, anything that's hard.
So Darlene says, oh, wow, boys' caps with the tag still on it since they lose their hair. Will they allow that?
Yes, they'll allow baseball hats as long as they're new. As long as they're new with tags on them, they will allow baseball hats. And there are some organizations that will provide knitted hats, like knitted caps for the girls. Like they'll do like knitted caps with like cute little flowers on them. They do allow that. They're pretty just strict about stuffed animals because those are not hard surface items, hats and so I have to say it's mostly because there's another organization, they make pillowcases. They make pillowcases for the kids in the hospital, and the hospital accepts those. So that's not hard surface. So, now that I'm thinking about it, they're really, the only restriction is stuffed animals that I can think of. Yeah.
All right, guys. So I've put all the links into the wholesale channel, the resellers auction group. I put Donna's auction. We're going to do a pop-up auction at 3:00. So Donna's going to go to the fire department and donate those stuffed animals. Then she's going to get her lots ready, and then we're going to be back at 3:00 for a pop-up auction. That's 3:00 Eastern, 2:00 Central, 12 p.m. Pacific time. So, guys, we hope to see you then. I'll put the links in again in the description. And I think we're going to call it a morning so that we can get ready and get going here for the rest of the day. But hopefully, guys, we'll see you in a couple of hours back up at the pop-up auction.
Awesome. Yeah, I probably won't go to the fire department until afterwards because I have a ton of lots that I need to get together. And I need to get my shipping out from Friday night's auction because tomorrow's going to be a full day at the mini store.
You got to make room in the garage for the storage unit.
I'm already tired thinking about how much I have to do. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks again for joining. We always appreciate you coming by in the morning. Saturday and Sunday mornings here at 9 a.m. Coffee with tea. And we'll see you on the auction later on this afternoon. Have a great morning.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.